Hi everyone, I'm Riley.
And I'm Anthony, and this is Spilling the Real Tea.
Tea.
Alright, we're back again.
Hello.
Hello, Suzanna Lynch, owner of Fruit Loop. We're glad to have you. We're excited. I'm currently turned up on this strawberry vanilla matcha.
Strawberry matcha.
Yeah, yep, I'm excited. That
Mine's
was great.
gone.
Yeah,
I
Riley's.
tried to hold out, but
Anthony's absolutely having heart palpitations right now over his first matcha.
There's no way I'm sleeping tonight. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm having a good time. Riley couldn't keep hers on the table.
No, I was gonna put it in the shop, but honestly, it's like almost gone.
She's like,
There's
I'm
no
going to
point.
finish this now, so this
So
isn't going to be
good.
on the table. Yeah.
So good.
But no, we're happy to have you. It's exciting.
I'm happy to be
Nice.
here.
Glad you can make it. We had to reschedule off my COVID last week.
Yep, yeah, we had to work around that, but it's
That
okay.
was a big thing. I'm here now. I'm alive.
Yep, you're good.
Doing good. But let's tap in. We're gonna have a bunch of questions for you. Dive into how Fruit Loop started, and get into who is Suze.
Who is she?
That's it. We don't know.
Still figuring it out.
Still figuring. She might not know, but we're gonna find out
I
today.
don't know when we'll find out, 100%.
Yes. Let's dive in and.
Yeah. So as far as you own Fruit Loop,
But I do.
but tell us a little bit about like what were you doing before Fruit Loop, and we'll get into how Fruit Loop came to be, but maybe start with what you were doing before.
Okay, so before Fruit Loop, directly before Fruit Loop, I was working, we'll say like my first real job out of college was a merchandising team lead position for Target. So
Okay.
I grew up in Rotterdam, and this job was in Clifton Park, so like, Aunt grew up in Rotterdam too, like that's
Neighbors.
a little, yeah.
Down the road.
Hashtag neighbors. That's a little ways away, but that's what brought me like out to Clifton Park. Otherwise, like
Oh.
I
living
didn't
in
know
Rotterdam,
that. Yeah.
wouldn't like Clifton Park to me was like going to like Lake George.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that
It's a
was
trip.
like my
It's a
stomping
trip.
grounds. Yeah. So was working at Target, doing merchandising for a few years, and just knew that like was not for me. Was the kind of person that was like clocking into work and like it'd be like 8 a.m. and I'm like, all right, I already have like 7 hours and 58 minutes left to go. Like, fuck. So pretty well. This could like open up into like the whole story of like how
Yeah.
I found my location. So we'll just say that's what I was doing directly before I started Fruit Loop Clifton Park.
So when you're at Target, you're like, no, I can't do that. Is it the 9 to 5 or the corporate world, or just like I'm not working for anybody, or I have no idea.
It was like all of those things. Like, this is gonna sound like maybe silly and cliche, but like I was someone who grew up and like wasn't like, oh, I want to be this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I want to like be a doctor or a dentist or whatever. Like, I really didn't even care that much about college. Like, I wasn't like the first to like jump and apply to like freaking Harvard, wherever. Like, that wasn't like my mindset when I was like in high school. It was just I kind of like dabbled with things I like. So like fashion was like one thing where I was kind of like, oh, like I love fashion. Like I have a good eye for things. Like I love interior design. Like maybe I'll do something that route. So that's kind of what led me to pursuing going to school for fashion merchandising. Where the heck was I going with this?
Well, we really
It was really
it was a
open-ended,
very
yeah.
open-ended
It
question,
was.
but
Yeah.
I guess my next question would be like, so you're in fashion merchandising. How do you get into like were you always interested in like health foods, or were you always interested in like something like that? Like, how do you go from one to the next?
Yeah, so I always was super duper interested in health and fitness. Like, I grew up like fitness has like it's a part of me. It's like a characteristic trait at this point. Like, I loved fitness, and obviously like health and wellness kind of goes hand in hand with that. So what am I fueling myself with? So that was like almost like my passion that tiered over everything. But when like you're in high school and everyone's like, oh, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like,
Which I hate that. Like,
Yeah,
I
it is.
I hate the fact that like a 16, 17-year-old kid has to like decide what they want to do for the future.
I
Like,
always say that. You're 18 years old and you're told like you can't do anything.
yeah. Yeah.
You literally can't do anything. But you're supposed to make like the biggest decision, like, oh, what are you gonna be? And
Like,
you're like,
go to
okay,
school-
wait,
go-
hold on.
go to
Like I
school,
can't
study.
even take a sip of wine.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
supposed
Right.
to tell you what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life. Like
I've
Yeah.
learned more from drinking wine than going to school, I think.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Yeah.
No, it is pretty wild. So I was just kind of like going with the flow of what everyone else was doing, and that's what we did, was just go to college, and I just happened to like fashion, but was very interested in health and wellness.
What made you do that acai? When you opened Clifton Park, what year did you open Clifton Park?
2018.
And I feel like the acai bowls were like really taking off then. Were you like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
jump on this, like this is my time to do this, or like you were just like, I had an acai bowl once, it was great, and here I am, you know?
I like, you are asking like the biggest questions because there's such like a long explanation to them. Like it wasn't just like, there's so many things.
Start from the beginning.
Yeah,
I guess.
tell us.
Yeah.
spill the tea.
Spill the tea.
Spill
Let's
the
go. We got
tea.
time. We got time.
All right, you ready for a half an hour story?
I forgot to
Okay,
introduce-
Let's get into it.
I forgot to introduce I got the Shit is Bananas t-shirt on too.
The Shit is
Some
Bananas.
Fruit Loop merch. Get it. Well,
Swag. Okay, so I think a lot of business owners, especially like in food, probably could say like they grew up and they're like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And like, I'm sitting here telling you like I didn't grow up like I want to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Like I have girls that work for me and they're 17, 18 and they're like, I want to be an entrepreneur, and like that should have been me. That literally was not me. I was just like, all right, go to college, check. Get my first job at Target, check. Like from here, like I'll just get a better job, you know,
Yeah.
like, and just kind of like work my way up. Like no clue to where, but just, you know, just be comfortable, make X amount of money, and then have 2.5 kids and a family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was just like my mindset. Like that's just like what was ingrained in me, like growing up. So when it came to like, so now circling back to acai bowls and like what kind of sparked my interest was, I'm so invested in health and fitness, and I'm trying like all of these diets. Like I was like the young teen that was like macros,
Yeah.
keto, blah blah blah, whatever. Like in a sense, like I was struggling through all of these like yo-yo trendy like diet things, and I eventually like developed like disordered ways of eating because like I was just trying to like do the whole fitness influencer thing where like I tried all these like different weird diets, and I'm like eating freaking, I don't even know,
Yeah.
ice water. So as all this is happening, I'm like going through like growing literally through all of the like my fitness health
Journey.
Josh and I are traveling, you know, a decent amount. And like when I would travel places, like I would get off a plane and be like, acai bowls
Oh
near
my
me.
God.
Light me up. Like
I feel that. Go.
I
Yep.
literally said this to him. I was like, we have to ask her how, because I was like, I used to do the same thing. I would travel and I would literally look up acai bowls near me because
Yes.
I'm like, they're so good and we don't
Yeah.
have any here.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And thank God, like, my husband's an absolute angel, because I would, in the Fort Lauderdale, like, literally just got off the plane, and I'm like, all right, it's 30 minutes from here, and he's like, all right, like, let's go. Like, Maya Papaya, like
That's amazing.
that's where it's at. But, like, everywhere we would go, Tulum, Virginia Beach, Charleston, Ocean City, like everywhere we were going, like I would try every single like smoothie bowl place or like health food related place, and like I was literally like enamored by it, like because I was like, I'm literally in my like
It's your element, right?
this is my element.
Yeah.
Like I love this. Like I would I lighting up inside just like thinking about it, talking about it now, because like I just loved that stuff. I was like, anything like.
We just
We're
got the
gonna have to cut
spark.
this part.
We just got the spark though. That's the energy we were looking for right there.
But like that's just what I loved so much, was like going and seeing these places, and not only just like their menus, but like what they looked like on the inside and how different they were, and like I would just like everything start to finish. I'm like, Josh, look at look at that. Oh my God, this is so cool. Like this nook and this cranny and like the colors they have in here. Like you would think I was like this 5-star like professional like restaurant like freaking what's the word I'm looking for?
Connoisseur or something.
Yeah,
Like critic. You're
Yeah,
like a
critic. Yeah, there you
going
go.
around.
So I'm obsessed with acai bowls. We're visiting every single place, right? And then I'm coming home and I'm like making them every day.
At the house.
At the house, 1016 Anthony Drive. Tom and Lori are like, what is she eating?
Yeah.
But they're also at least she's not doing this weird shit where she's like weighing out her food.
Yeah.
And like I was doing like very like unhealthy like things.
Yeah.
But they had no clue what the heck I was making. They're just like, she's making these like ice cream bowls.
She's making a smoothie and she's putting it in a bowl. Yeah.
Sure. But I became obsessed with making them. So like I'm making them every single day, and I'm making them for Josh. And like he's like, these are like, you're actually like, these are really good. And there was really nothing around here at the time.
Yeah.
But he was like, we've had smoothie bowls in freaking Mexico and Tulum. He's like, these are so good. So that's when I started to like, it clicked a little bit. And I was like, these are really good. And
Oh my God, I like have chills.
I do too. This is cool. Yeah.
so, I guess that's a little bit of my answer as to like what sparked like my.
So you unintentionally became like in love with making acai bowls and seeing how these acai places are like put together and like
Yes.
how they look and the feel of them.
Everything.
And you've made 1,000 bowls at your house, and then you said
1,000. With like the shittiest blender ever too. Like my parents could have got me a Vitamix. Like out here in the kitchen, like using a Ninja 3000X.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know.
Oh my God, that's
That's
so
great.
funny. So,
How do you find the your first location, which is in Clifton Park? How do you find that space?
So, on a
And-
whim,
Okay.
like literally. So
And were you like, maybe I should start doing this? Like, let's look for a spot to open, or no?
No. Like I said, like everything wasn't like so premeditated. Like I wasn't like, this is the goal. Like I was making acai bowls every day, like, and I was getting really good at it. But I was never like, oh, let me like the goal
I'm
wasn't.
gonna open a store.
Yeah. So I'm working at Target, and I'm just like, I'm frequenting this plaza because it's right around the corner from the Target that I'm working at, and I literally just drive by this space and it says space available with a phone number on it, and I call Josh and I'm like, like this is that like a small little space.
Yep.
It's available, like should I call? And he's like, yeah, just call. So I call and the guy answers, and I was like kind of probably hoping that like he didn't answer, but like now I'm on the phone with Donald McElroy. And
Shout out Donald.
shout out to Donald. So he was like, yeah, I'll show you the space tomorrow. And I'm like,
Wow, this just got
Yeah.
real.
I'm like, all right, let me just call Josh, who was my boyfriend at the time.
Right.
And so honestly, within like the next couple of days, we went and saw the space. And I called Big Tom, which is my dad.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure that he was like, I have absolutely no clue what like these bowls are that you're making, or like what this thing is that you want to do. But yeah, like let's go look at the space.
Shout out Big Tom
Shout out Big Tom.
and Josh.
Yep,
Oh my God.
I have pictures on my camera roll still of them just like standing in the space when it was polka dots.
Oh,
At
I
the
forgot
time.
that's
Wow.
what it was.
Yeah, with the polka dot sign and all their, yeah.
That's such a cool story. Like you weren't. It just happened. Like Fruit Loop just happened, essentially.
Yes, kind of
Like you stumbled upon.
I stumbled
Fruit
upon the
Loop, essentially.
location. Like was I like at one point in time someone who's like sitting on my boyfriend's family room floor, like scribbling in a notebook, like mocking up an actual
Yep.
menu? Like yes, I was, but it wasn't like it wasn't with intentions of like opening a physical restaurant,
like a real,
storefront. Like it was just like, oh, you know, we all do this thing where we're like, oh, write it down on paper, like this would be fun. It wasn't until I got like really like when I got my father involved and like looking at the location with me. I'm someone, if I say I'm going to do something, like, I will, like, pretty much 99.9% follow through with it. And even more so, like, if I get my father involved in it with me, and Josh as well, like, I was committed. I was, like, pretty committed. Like, I was like, all right, we're literally negotiating this lease. Like, he's coming to these meetings with me. Like, I can't turn back now.
It's real, yeah.
You want to hear a funny story about the day I signed the lease?
Sure do.
It was a nightmare. Like, it was literally, like, it was bad. So, I'm at Target.
Yep.
And, like, I have this, like, group of friends at Target, right? And they like, we're all working together. Like, this is our full-time job. And I'm, like, planning a whole ass business on the side.
Guys, I'm out.
I'm out. But they're all, like, completely hyping me up. Like, I would be on lunch, like, all right, like, jotting down names. And, like, these people probably think, like, this isn't even happening, right? And, like, I'm writing names for a business that, like, eventually, like, is going to exist and now, like, has 2 locations. Like, that's, like, wild to think about now. But I was just sitting in a break room at Target, like, with, like, my buddies. Like, what do you guys think about the pink pitaya? And they're like, no. But, so, fast forward to the day that I'm about to sign the lease. The lease agreement at the time, and I say at the time because, like, the Latham lease agreement was a lot more, like, nitty-gritty than this one, but it was my first one, and I'm, like, 25 years old. So at the time, like, this was, like, so big and complex to me, and we're going back and forth. There were so many times, like, I was crying my eyes out because I thought, like, I'm not the only person in Clifton Park that wants that space. So, like, there was one week, and I remember crying my eyes out because the ball was no longer in my court and someone else was interested, and, like, we weren't agreeing on a certain term of the lease agreement, and I feel like, I thought, like, the world was over, but it was also, like, in that moment when I knew, like, I'm actually, like, like, I'm now, like, I'm believing in this, like, I'm committed to this, like, I'm crying my eyes out over this, and, like, Josh is over here, like, it's positive thoughts, like, if it's meant to be, it will be, like, this isn't the end of the world, like, we just gotta wait until Monday, and we'll let you know, like, what's up. So, ball ends up being back in my court, we finally, like, come to an agreement. Like, another fun fact is the day before, like, a couple nights before I signed the agreement, they said, I had said, no, I'm walking away from this, and it was because we could not agree on hours of operation. And if you're attached to a mall lease agreement, like, they want you to be open until, like, all hours of the night, like, 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, for my life, like, this is not something that I want, and it wasn't something that I was willing to bend on as much as I was, like, crying over the space. It was like, I'm not willing to bend on this, like, I knew I was going to be so involved, and I knew that like, my life wasn't going to be going, like, I was going to be working until 9 p.m.
Right.
So they told me, like, I told them no.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me no. I said, like, unfortunately, like, no, like, I want my store hours to be 8 to 4.
Also, who's getting a smoothie bowl at 8:30 p.m.?
Right, exactly.
But, like, these strip malls, that's what they want, because they don't want, like, all these dead spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I'm all upset again, because I'm like, wow, like, we went through all of this, like, this roller coaster ride of this lease agreement, ups, downs, and, like, I got my hopes super up, like, I finally got the ball back in my court, and then, like, we're not agreeing over hours of operation. So I tell them no, and then I, like, digest that, and I'm like,
it's done.
All right, like, probably we'll just eventually just keep our eyes open, whatever. My phone dings, it's like 8 p.m., and it's Don Green, and it's the owner of, like, the mall, like, the whole complex. And he's just like, Susanna, I want to let you know that we are going to adjust, and, like, we're going to allow your store hours. So it's late at night, I'm losing my mind. I'm like, this all just changed. Like, I just got so ready to, like, walk away from this, and then this all just changed. So, needless to say, it was just an absolute roller coaster ride of emotions. It was, like, yeses and the nos, and, like, I wasn't really even ready to commit. So, like, the ride was just like so hard being not 1,000,000,000,000% in. Like,
And
you
you're
know?
not sure like where you're going with it. How long was it? Was it like a week of negotiating or?
Oh no, it was a couple months.
Really?
My Latham lease agreement was a year,
Wow.
and that's when that one was tough.
Wow.
Wow.
But like I said, at 25, like this
Yeah.
other one, a couple of months, like wasn't. That's not
Right.
like,
And you had
super
like this
unheard of.
this good support system too, like which
Yeah.
helps. Now, lease is signed. Do you
Well,
have?
the day that I signed the lease, right?
Oh boy, there's more to
the
this
power,
roller coaster.
No, the power went out in Clifton Park. No, the power goes out in Clifton Park. I'm meeting my father and Josh to go sign my name on this paperwork. The lease agreement isn't right. Like, there's language in there that is still physically wrong. So I'm in this office with these 3 men. The language on the lease agreement isn't right. The power is out. There's lightning coming down from the sky, and I'm like, God, are you actually trying to talk
Right.
to me right now?
Right. Right.
Are you telling me to like turn around and
Yeah.
jet? 'Cause,
Yeah.
like,
This is not it.
Like, I need a sign of your sign. Like, I need the ceiling to fall or something.
Oh my god.
But that was like, that's how who I am. I'm like,
Yeah.
I am like, all right, like this is like all like signs are leading to like maybe this isn't
Yeah.
it. But needless to say, like we fixed up the language that was incorrect. We did sign that day, and like
The
that
sun
was
came
a
out.
done deal.
The sun came out, and it was all good.
Wow.
It didn't come
No,
out.
it didn't come out.
But it was a done deal.
Wow. So signed lease. How'd you get the name Fruit Loop? Because
Fruit Loop.
I mean, that's a great name for this.
Fruit Loop came about, I would say, like, when I was thinking about the name, it's funny, because, like, you think it's a great name. I do think it's a great name. There have been time periods where I'm like, did I really choose Fruit Loop? You know, after a couple of years in business, I'm like, this is it for, like,
That's it.
I'm not really rebranding. Like, this is the name that I have. And to think that, like, it was just me, again, and the homies at Target, just, like, you know,
On lunch
jotting
break,
down
yeah.
names, you know, and, like, really, like, what made me choose Fruit Loop was because it was fun, it was different, it was kind of like a spin off of something that was, like, bigger.
Right.
And it wasn't just, like, another way to say, like, all natural. You
Mhm.
know, like, it was, like, it was just something different for me.
Yeah, I think it's great. We
I
talked
love
about.
the name.
We're like, it's the best name.
I
Like,
just think it's so good.
It's funny. It's funny because St. Patrick's Day is coming up, but, like, I remember probably going on, like, 6 years ago, like, I'm out with everyone. They're all drinking, having a great time at St. Patty's Day, and I'm thinking, I'm out. It's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, what do you guys think about Fruit Loop? Look it up, see if it's already taken, see if, like,
Put it
there's
in
already
Google.
a patent.
Yeah.
But, like, it's weird because, like, that's where my head was at, you know, but I also, like, wasn't the person that was, like, actively, like, pursuing it. It was just, like, always in the back of my head.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, for our millions and millions of viewers, like, let us know a better name than Fruit Loop if you could think of one, because I don't think there is. Like, I really don't.
It's definitely a fun name.
Right?
I love it.
The Loop.
The loop.
Ooh, the loop.
Like, come on now.
Stay in the loop.
Come on now.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you have your location in Clifton Park. When do you start thinking about, like, maybe we need either a bigger space or maybe we need, like, another location?
Pretty soon after we opened in Clifton Park. So, like,
Wait, actually, I want to go back to, like, opening day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, opening day.
Yes.
Like,
So-
Yes.
are you, like, first of all, how do you even, like, come up with all these menu items and naming them? Like, is it so hard to, like, source all of your ingredients? Like, I'm sure, like, was that something you were thinking about? Or once it was, like, everything was signed, you're like, okay, next step, we gotta start, you know?
It was, I wasn't thinking about it. So, I had the business before I had the business plan. Like, I signed the lease and then I had to figure out where am I getting spoons, where am I getting straws, where am I getting bowls, where am I getting employees, how am I going to reach people, like, how am I building a website, what's the email attached to the website, where do I get food from, what's the cost of food. Like, I didn't know anything. I just knew that, like, I signed that lease, so now it's time to figure it out, and I have 3 months to figure it all out.
Wow.
That's so cool. That's such a
Once
a
again, I
unique-
have chills. I think
Yeah,
I
I do
had
too.
chills this, like, whole
Yeah,
time.
this is cool. That, like, what a unique way to, like, open a business and, like, a successful one.
Yeah.
Of, like, just kind of like
kind of scary, like looking back.
very scary, like.
But I just feel like you were like, I said I'm gonna do, like you said, like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of things is like what I'm picking up on, like trends of like these business owners that just kind of are like, this is what I'm doing, I'm going for it. They all say the same thing, and she just said it too. Like, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get all of me to do it, right? Like, I feel like that's the thing. Like, you didn't just say, oh yeah, great, I'll sign a lease. Like, now let's figure out how to open a business. You're like, let's fucking do it. You know, like,
Yeah.
and that's like very common. I feel like, and that. It forces you have to do it, right? You can't
You have
opening
to,
week. You
because
can't be
you
like, I
have
got
no
some
other
forks and
choice.
spoons, right? Like,
rent is still gonna be due the
Yeah.
second your 90-day build out is
exactly.
up. So like I had to figure it out.
Did you have an idea of like how much stuff to have when you open? You're just
Absolutely
kind of
not.
like, just let's buy all this stuff and see how it goes.
A funny story is like I thought that like I was gonna have my mom make homemade granola for us, right? Like Lori Lynch, like
Cute idea, yeah.
cute.
Shout out Lori,
homemade
too.
Idea. Shout out to Lori.
Shout out
She's
Lori.
been my biggest supporter.
She's a real one. She's a real one.
But like, we learned in the first week like that was never like that would be her full-time job if that was gonna be it. Like
Mhm.
I had no clue what I was ordering, how much, how many hours I was gonna need people
Right.
to work, how many people I was gonna need to work,
Mhm.
how to train people.
So you just went in there like trial and error. Let's.
Oh my god, absolute trial and error.
How many times did you cry the week before opening?
Oh my god, you know
Or
what?
how many-
I think I like.
You just don't even remember
it was
that
so
time.
traumatic. Like I don't remember.
Did you
I do
sleep at all?
remember.
Probably didn't sleep.
No, like I remember when we had to get when the building department had to come in, like me, Josh, my dad, like everyone, all hands on deck. Like we were in that building till like 3 a.m. the night before. Went home, slept an hour, come back. We have someone painting the building an hour before the building inspector's about to come, and like
Wow.
I'm like, oh, what am I gonna say to this building inspector? Like I'm literally like so nervous, and my dad just like kind of like took the reins with that, but like
Yep.
it was up until the last minute, like we were just like whipping things up. Even like the night before we opened, Josh and I in that building, like cleaning everything, putting everything together, like practicing, like getting ready to like make food for actual customers.
Yeah.
Like late, like
Yeah.
went home, didn't sleep because like there's no way I'm sleeping. I'm about to open a business tomorrow. Like I have no clue what to expect. Like I feel like I'm on crack right now.
That's
Like
crazy.
I'm absolutely wired. And then like we opened the next day and it was, I don't even know what
Like
to say.
once you started going, were you just like in go mode, essentially, or you blacked out? Yeah.
I remember that day vividly. It's just so funny, like looking back at how like unprepared I was, and like really like we had such a niche business idea. Like when you open a business now, like there's if I was gonna open another business, like there's so much you would do marketing wise leading up to it.
Right.
Letting the people see what's going on, the build out, like little like bits and pieces here and there, like you're getting their attention, like
Mhm.
you're letting them know like hi, we're here. Like
Right.
no one knew that. Like had no social media, barely had an Instagram,
Yep.
barely had a website. Like I think the someone posted like in Moms of Clifton Park was like Fruit Loop is coming, like she like screenshot like our storefront, and it started like surfacing somehow, but I think it was just because we were like really the first in the area that people started to see like that sign up front there, and like our first day was like a really great day for having done absolutely nothing like leading up to that. And it just really only took off from there because, like, again, there was no one else in the area.
Right.
Like,
and that's like your location's amazing.
Yeah.
In Clifton Park too, like I think it all would just fit out well. I mean, Moms of Clifton Park got a hold of it. I mean, that says enough.
No joke though. Someone with like the Instagram handle, like it was like a mom's group in Clifton Park, and she posted about Fruit Loop, and like weeks leading up to it, I was like, do I do a soft open or do I start talking about this? And like I was so you know, nervous and apprehensive that, like, it was a very soft open.
Right.
Like, I didn't talk about it to anyone. It was just with intentions of, like, opening the door and, like, getting some practice under our belt, because we were, like, fighting for our lives trying to, like, get this building, like, ready to go. We weren't spending 8 hours a day, like, practicing making
right.
an acai bowl.
Right,
like,
right, right.
That was me. Like, I was going to be making all of them.
That's funny. Now, is that the proper way? It's an acai bowl, and everybody just says acai?
And some say acai.
I mean, I feel like I'm not in a position to tell you how it's said. You like?
I say acai.
Oh, do you say acai?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Same.
so I'm
I
gonna
say
acai.
I switch it up.
Is that what
Some
it is?
people come in and they say, "Can I get an aki bowl?" And I'm like,
Stop.
"No problem."
Stop.
I
Oh,
got
okay.
you.
Go with it. All right. So you can really say it however
Want
you
an
want.
aki bowl coming up?
Yeah.
One Aki bowl. Oh
Love
my
it.
god. So then now I think we can, now that we've got the opening day. So then you're like, we need a second location.
No, not
Okay.
like not that.
Or like
early on.
how early on, I guess, are you like, oh wow, like maybe we could have a second one?
I would say within the first 4 to 6 months of
Oh,
me
wow.
being there, I was like, this, you know, big ass decision that I made was a good one, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of traction, and there was a lot of excitement around it, and that's when, you know, I started to think like, where would be the next?
Yeah. Is that when you got like a handle on like the day-to-day operations on your first one? Like, you're like, all right, I have the flow, I understand. No.
No.
Just like, let's blow this thing up. And...
No, like, of course, like, I got a handle on a lot of, like, the bigger, like, nitty-gritty things, but, like, I'm still getting a handle on things, like, every day, like, whether
Fair,
it's, like,
yeah.
something, like, super small, there's so many things that I'm still learning and getting a handle on.
Mhm.
Like, but the big things, yes, we worked out the kinks.
There's probably always going to be, right? You always have to roll the punches.
Rolling with the punches.
There you go.
For your next location, were there like a couple different areas you were thinking about, or was it kind of always you were thinking Latham?
Always Latham. Because now that we had been open for, you know, a few months and we were, like, sitting into that, my mindset was, like, well, where is there a gap in upstate New York? Because now there are other places that are starting to open. And so my mind just shot to Latham.
Thank God.
Yeah. Well, good for
Okay.
you, because you live there. Is that
Yeah,
why?
yeah, that's why I said thank
Okay.
God.
Yeah, so that's just kind of how Latham came about. Even when I started thinking about Latham, like, it was just a thought. It wasn't like, all right, actively pursue Latham with everything I've got.
Right.
It was like, I'm still, like, fighting for my life to figure out what this business out in Clifton Park means and how it's going to operate and how I want it to operate and how I need to make things better.
Mm-hmm.
When you said that you were really into interior design, when I tell you the first time I went into the Latham location, I was like, where am I?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in
Not
Latham
here.
right now.
That's
Like,
awesome.
this is incredible.
Yeah.
Did you design, like, was that all you, or did you have someone help you? Like, how do you even, because I love that video you have of, like, the build out where there's nothing, and I'm like, I literally saw that, and I'm like, oh my God, are they opening another location? And then I was like, wait, that's what Latham was
Yeah.
before everything? Like, wow.
Latham, that location, so actually that physical store front in that mall was never anything. So I'm sure you saw in
Yeah.
that video, like, it was absolute bare bones. And it's funny how we ended up actually deciding on that location because that wasn't my first choice. There was a lot of other places that we invested some time looking in, and we ended up landing on that space, which I think worked out honestly for the best.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as, like, all design type things go, like, everything in there is me, like, my vision. But, like, my husband literally, like, built almost every single thing in that building with
The
his
seat,
bare hands.
right? The concrete seat. He did that himself.
Like, everything.
Yeah.
Like, outside of, like, the walls were put up, like, and then Josh and I did everything. And my father.
I feel like decorating that, designing it, decorating, same thing. That goes back into, like, you always liked fashion. You had
Yeah.
an eye for any, like, whether it was clothes or whatever, like, that goes, I mean, that shows there.
Yeah.
I feel like.
That's definitely,
You could
like,
put Riley's mind is blown
I'm
right
literally
now.
like,
Her jaw
I
was
just am
dropped.
so, like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated.
that's my creative outlet in
Right.
Fruit Loop, is, like, well, of course, it's the menu and all the fun things on it, but, like, that's how I could take, like, my visionary things and, like, implement them.
I love it.
I know.
I mean, like, I think I'm gonna go to Fruit Loop every day for the rest of my life. Like,
You're gonna look at it differently
you
now.
You think
and
I'm
all
kidding?
That.
I'm literally not.
Yeah. Do you ever have, like, a moment where, like, you feel not like you made it, but like wow, like this Fruit Loop is mine. Like, I've put so much work into this. It's like, you know, it's established and it's running. Like, it's a known business around here. Do you feel like that now, or are you just kind of like, I'm just plugging away, rolling with the punches? And
I do feel like I just completely get caught up in, like, plugging away, and that I have, like, massive imposter syndrome on my life. Like, even just sitting here and you guys are asking me questions, I'm like, I just...
Like, why me? Why are you guys interviewing me? Yeah.
Like, I obviously ended up here on purpose, but, like, sometimes it feels like it like, wasn't completely on purpose, and it was a lot of, like, luck and a lot of hard work, but I don't really have aha moments where I'm like, wow.
I feel like that might come at, like, a later date when maybe, like, you can step back a little from working all day, every day, all the time. Where you can be like, wow, I built this, and it's, you know, I don't have to report every single day. Like, maybe that's when that time will come. That's it.
I feel like you probably think I'm a freak staring at you. I'm like,
no.
I can't stop smiling. I'm just so,
I double
like,
took Riley
know.
one time, and she's like...
I'm, like, not okay right now.
Yeah, we might be here for a while. Yeah.
No, so, for, like... Do you, I mean, I don't know because I don't know what you're going to say, but, like, for your do you have, like, a 5-year plan for Fruit Loop? Like, this is maybe what we'd like to do, like, open a new location, or are you, like, good where you are now, or?
I think I'm just trying to get a handle on where we are now, because, like, although we have, you know, a decent amount of time under our belt in Latham, it still is, like, a brand new business, in my opinion, but... I think that I'm at this place in life where, like, I'm starting to see life, like, all in front of me, and this business, which is, like, the majority of what my life is right now, and I'm kind of at a place where I'm, like, I'm 30, like, where am I going, and how am I running the business now, and how do I need to pivot and change to be able to know what my 5-year plan / goal is. So, like, I would be lying if I said I have a like, I don't necessarily have a goal right now. I think the sky's the limit, but I think there's so much work that I need to do, like, within myself and within the walls of the business, organizationally and structurally, so I can be someone who can say, all right, now this is what's next, and, like, I'm comfortable doing this.
Yeah. And you're still relatively new, really. Like, you've opened 2 locations in a short period of time, like, and they're busy. Like, people love going to these acai or acai or whatever you want to call it bowls. Like, so I feel like you shouldn't even have that now, because I mean, you haven't even been in it really for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So why have it? Like, I feel like once it seems like you're getting, as you're growing, you're getting more and more of a handle on everything too, and that's when that will come.
I'm trying to.
Nice.
I'm trying my best.
I think it's one of those things too, like, no one can teach you.
No one. You guys have to figure it out.
As a business owner, like,
and
by the way, anything that you are being taught is, like, it comes with, it's just the experience. Like, the only way you're gonna learn is just getting into it and doing it, which is what you did.
Exactly. And like you said, I'm 30 now. You said it as in, like, well, I'm 30 now. I'm old, and I need to figure this out.
Oh no,
like,
I said I'm just getting started.
Oh
Anthony.
Oh, my bad. But, like,
Anthony.
That's my bad. Jeez. But yeah, no, I think that. I mean, that's awesome. The whole story. I wasn't expecting all that. It's like,
no, I like literally am like. You think I'm kidding? First stop. This is me in the morning. Wake up. Go to Metabolic. Leave Metabolic. Go to Fruit Loop.
I love that so
go
much.
Home. Like, literally. I mean, I'm just like, I'm in a different place right now.
That's awesome.
Do you want to get into spelling the realty, or do you have any more questions?
I think that's it. Yeah. Are you ready? We got this, like, little end segment here. We're gonna spill the tea.
You ready?
Let's find out what Suzanna Lynch feels.
I'm so excited to see your answers. What is one thing you would tell your younger self?
to start sooner and believe in yourself. That sounds like
No.
so simple and silly, but like I feel like a lot of the reason why I am where I am today is because I have and had people in my corner that believed in me like almost more than I did, because I was just this like young, like you're young, you're in your 20s, like you're like scared as hell and you don't believe in yourself. And like I had Josh, who was like, you can do anything, I got you, like I'll support you. And my family didn't know what the fuck I was making. They're like, yeah, like sure, like let's do it. But like it also just goes to show like the saying, like the 5 or whatever people you surround yourself with like can dramatically change your life and can catapult you really to wherever you're going, or absolutely hold you back from it. And so really to piggyback off of that question, like I would just say like start sooner and like believe that you can truly do anything with a lot of hard work and commitment.
I have chills again.
Wow.
Am I getting like a
Wow.
fever? I'm like
I don't
I'm like
know.
worried. I'm like getting sick. I
That
literally have
was-
had chills this whole episode.
Yeah.
That was a great answer.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was.
And I think that you did believe in yourself. Like even
Yeah, you
like
did.
you had to have like you're sitting there like writing down names and like drawing stuff out. Like you knew.
You didn't
but, like,
know it.
Maybe you didn't
Yeah.
really know, but like I think a part
Yeah.
of you knew.
You know.
A part of me did, I guess a little bit, but like a massive piece to this was like my partner believing
Yeah.
in me like more than I did.
Yeah.
So cute.
Damn.
It's literally so sweet. I'm gonna cry. That's the next question.
All right. Now moving on before Riley starts crying. What's the hardest part about running Fruit Loop? Even if it's day to day or anything.
The hardest part about running Fruit Loop, I think, is there's a lot of hard parts.
Okay.
A lot of people, I think, do and don't want to go into business, but the ones that do go into business, you know, it starts with like an interest. Like you're like me, I'm interested in smoothie bowls,
Yep.
health and fitness, love them. And it's an idea, and you think, oh, I'm really good at this, so like, let me like make this come to fruition. So you know, you build a business off of something that you're really good at, but a lot of times you end up like your responsibilities are massive once you take that commitment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's no longer about making smoothie bowls anymore. This is a business. Like it's a restaurant where like you employ people and you serve a community of people. And like that was bigger than I could have ever imagined when I was like signing my name
Yeah.
on the lease agreement. That it's actually a job that's completely different than the job that I just, the things that I was
Yeah.
doing in real life. And so what's really hard about that is like you're completely unprepared for being a leader, for being everything that entails making a business work.
You're wearing every hat in
marketing,
the
your
business.
boss.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like, it starts by like being the technician of something, and they're good at it or they're the best at it, so they go and they open the business. And a plumber has a plumbing business, but then you have the employees, you have payroll, you have the books you're taking care of, you have orders, you have bills to pay, you have all those things you have to do, and that's all hard. I think the hardest thing for me is the hardest thing and yet the coolest thing to
Okay,
learn is
okay.
is being a leader and being able to reach people and being able to lead a team that like makes my business. Like
Yeah.
it's just like wild. Like that's hard because it's a million feelings. It's emotional. Everyone is so different. I grew up in a household where like things are black and white, like you do this and you don't do this, and like now like that's, you know, when you're leading a team of people, like that's not how you can break through to
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
And
So many different personalities.
yeah, every single person is different, and there's so many different circumstances, and so like I'm literally learning every single day like how to do that still, how to be a good leader, and how that translates to my team and how to gain equity with a team of people.
Yeah.
And how to make them happy, and how to make them feel safe, and that
show up
they're
to work the
cared
next
of.
day.
Yeah, like it's just so much. Like, but that's hard. Like, because that is so different than just me thinking having an acai bowl business is cool.
Yeah, right.
My dad always says that.
Answer.
He's like, it doesn't matter who you ask. It doesn't matter what they do. Like, any business owner will always tell you, like, the hardest, but also can be the most rewarding part is, like, managing people. It's like always going to be, think about it. You're like, literally, this is people's, like, livelihood. And, like, people have so many feelings and so many emotions, and it's like, that can probably be really overwhelming at the end of the day to be like, okay, hold on, like, I'm in charge of this.
You are, and that's what's it's scary, is like, you are the person in charge of it. Like, I don't have someone else who, you know, have, like, I have my husband. I don't have an actual partner who, you know, in business that's helping me navigate how to navigate conversations with people for every single possible instance that could possibly come up. So
every single day. Yeah.
that's so hard. And the other second hardest part is is getting out of the position of being the technician of my business every single waking day. Like, because there's a difference between being a technician and being an entrepreneur, and the technician is doing the work, and the entrepreneur is being innovative and doing, like, growing the business.
Yeah. But you're doing both. I mean, you opened Latham.
Yeah,
so.
I think I am doing both, but I definitely think that there could be a better
transition into more entrepreneur. I think you'll get there. Like, you've only a few years in. Like, you also have to like the success you've had and stuff like that too. Like, that was both of those. So.
Yeah, I mean, think about how many
you've
people...
done a lot.
We talked about this last time, I think. I don't know if we ever said this, like, on air. It may have just been a conversation we were having, like, so many people, even you were saying, like, you have girls that work for you. Not that there's anything wrong with this, but, like, it's like a buzzword right now, like, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. Okay, like, what does that even mean? Seriously.
Yeah.
I think it's like you're saying, like, most entrepreneurs were technicians doing something so great and, like, translated over, which you did. So, I mean...
Yeah.
But I think every great entrepreneur has been a technician for years and years. You know, like you might be like you feel like a full-on entrepreneur by 35, right? Because you've been a technician for so long, and now you're like, I can step back because, you know, I've built this. So
I definitely think there's a happier medium that I could find, but I definitely think the reason that Fruit Loop is the way that it is because I am equally a technician and we won't say equally, but the technician and the entrepreneur. And, like, when you do go in those buildings, like, I'm there, like, in the music, in the decoration, on the menu, like, I'm physically there too, like
it's yours.
And that is, like, that is why it is the way it is now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, well, I mean, you made Fruit Loop yours, you know? And that's what being a technician does.
There you go.
So you definitely answered our next question in that.
Ooh.
Like, did you know what we were going to ask you? I feel like she
No.
hacked your phone or something because she's killing these answers.
Well, she could have listened, unlike Anthony.
She did listen, actually.
He's like, I didn't look... We're like, did you listen?
I did listen, but I can't. I honestly don't remember the questions, and I didn't want to remember them.
Yeah.
I
No,
didn't
you're
wanna,
fine.
We changed it a little bit.
You want to do the next one?
Okay,
I'll do it.
into these.
When you, I feel like you did kind of answer this. But when you started your business, like, from then to now, has there been something that happened along the way that, like, you didn't anticipate? You were just like, oh, wow, you know.
Yeah, there's been, like,
like everything you
trillion-
just said in a way.
I would say, like, some things that were, like, massive learning lessons for me is that, like, when you're in, you know, I'm this, like, naive 25-year-old girl who's just like, oh, I signed a lease and I'm figuring it out, and then I'm in business and I think everything's just gonna be okay, and, like, we have Fruit Loop Clifton Park, and, you know, it's great. And, like, once, like, you're in business, I think the hardest lesson that you can learn is that, like, it is like survival of the fittest in a sense. And, like, anything can happen, right? Like,
Well, like COVID.
COVID could happen, or literally someone could open up next door to you and be doing the same exact business. Like there have been things that have happened over time where I'm just like, I couldn't even imagine like this would, like, what? But then I'm like, wow, Sue's like, you're really naive, because business is business. Like, I've truly learned like what that means.
Love that.
That's a good answer.
That's a great answer. Yeah. What's your go-to acai bowl?
365.
What's your go-to topping for it? For any acai bowl? I read that question wrong, so I'm
So-
just gonna write it out.
You see me snatch the phone. I'm like, he answered.
Shit.
Didn't answer that right, or
No.
ask it right.
The 365, like, no joke, it's named that because, and it says, like, owner's pick, because I ate it every single day of the year, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, I think we're going on 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, the only way I'm not eating that smoothie bowl is if, like, I'm in Switzerland, friggin' on my anniversary trip, or, like, out of town. Like, I've ate that same bowl.
Every time I go in, you tell me to get that.
Will you make it for yourself when you're at home, like on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or I'll literally still leave and drive to Latham and go make it.
Like by yourself?
Yeah, or like I'll drag Josh and me. Like, me and Josh on holidays will be like Christmas Eve. I'm like, all right, let's go.
That's amazing.
Oh my god, I love that.
I just am obsessed with it.
They're refreshing. Like.
So what's in it? Tell us.
Okay, so acai. There's wild blueberries, raspberries, spinach, fresh
Ooh.
pineapple, vanilla protein. So that's the base, and then the toppings. I do a little bit differently than what's listed on the menu, but Honeycrisp apple, cacao nibs. I do hemp seeds, mixed nut butter.
There you go.
Yum. Okay, I'm
Oh
getting
no,
that
I'm a
tomorrow
no
morning.
granola girly,
No
but
granola.
I like a lot of apples.
Mm.
That sounds so funny, weird, but
Are you gluten free?
no, I'm not.
Okay, but do you have gluten free granola? Or
We have
no?
gluten free granola.
I'm not. I just was wondering. I don't know why I
A
asked
lot
that.
of people
Yeah, I was
are.
wondering why.
I feel like I don't know. Anyways, this might be the same answer. Oh well, we already know what your favorite menu item is. It's the three between everything.
Hands down. Oh, well,
What's
I could tell you in each category, like 365 and smoothie bowls and toast. It's kind of a big deal. That one's really good.
I was looking at that today. Maybe I'll get that tomorrow too.
In smoothies, it's chill the F out, and in drinks, our cold brew. Like my blood vessels are pumping wired cold brew. Like, our cold brew is
It's so good. I agree.
Like,
I've gotten that a lot.
Do you put anything in it, or you just?
brown sugar oat creamer.
Oh my god!
Power
I'm getting
move.
that tomorrow.
You see
too.
the smile she had when she said the brown sugar? Yeah.
Brown sugar oat.
She's like, yeah, that's it. That's.
I was
yeah.
gonna ask you today when we were getting ready. I was gonna ask you if you had that one from Trader Joe's.
No,
The
I
brown
have
sugar
not.
creamer.
I have
Have you?
not.
Do you go to Trader Joe's? Yeah, I mean, why would you when
She
you
goes
have
to Fruit Loop.
Fruit Loop?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Okay, yeah. What's your best-selling item?
The Works bowl.
What's in that?
It's. I don't know why I had that reaction. It's a great bowl. Like, don't get me wrong.
You just
but
want
it's
people to want the 360.
Yeah, and it's like when you go to like a pizza shop and like the best seller is like the
Cheese pizza.
Like, it's like there's so much you can do with the bowls. Like earlier,
I feel
Aunt
so
was like,
attacked. I'm such a big cheese pizza guy.
well, it's just okay. Picture this: like you make smoothie bowls every day, and like a trillion of them are just like the Works bowl over
Right.
and over again. Like, there's so many different things that you can build and finesse off of our menu and like customize. So it's like nice. Like, when we get like a one-off of like a smoothie bowl, someone who's like, oh, actually like add on like this, that, and the other. It's like so fun for us because robotically we're just like making Works bowls like
Okay.
all the time.
So that's why when I go in, I'm like, what should I get? You're like, I got you. Is that
Yeah.
why you're always like so pumped to be like, and then you come over, you're like, I put extra strawberries on it. I did this. Do you know what these are? I'm like, I don't know what that is. Yeah.
And when Aunt came in, like the same day he was filming with you guys, and I was like, can I just do whatever I want? He was like, yeah, let's just do it, whatever.
Yeah. No, that's
Wait,
fun.
so what's in the Works one though? Just like
So the Works is just like a house acai blend, and then it comes with granola, banana, strawberry, blueberry, nut butter, and coconut shreds.
okay.
So,
So
like,
that's kind of like a classic.
yeah, like if you go to smoothie bowl places, it's like it's like a classic version of an acai bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like it.
You touched on the music earlier. Who was your most listened to artist last year?
Like personally or like Fruit Loop?
You.
I want to say Drake.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
Because like
would
Fruit
make
Loop, Suze, and like Suze outside of Fruit Loop, slightly two different.
So
Suze
what
is
do you
just
think
jamming
Fruit
her
Loops'
music and blowing her speakers in her
number
car.
one artist. Who was Fruit
Fruit
Loops'
Loop?
number one artist?
Fruit Loop is like Love, John K, like Bazzi, Masigo. It's like
Yeah.
everything, but
Yeah.
it's more like lighthearted, like upbeat.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah, but random, but like old Drake is Suze outside
Yeah.
of Fruit Loop. Like
Little
nothing
Nothing-
was the same.
I was just going to say, a little Take Care in there,
Take
baby.
Care,
Come
yes.
on now.
Yeah.
Forever be in the playlist. Nice. All right.
You want to ask the last
I
question?
do want to ask the last one. If you could go out to dinner with a famous person, dead or alive, who would it be?
This is tough because I'm not like a fangirly over really like anyone.
Fair.
Like
Yeah,
Even
I picked like an influencer for mine.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't.
I mean, even
Anyone.
someone you go pick their brain, like...
if I'm going out to dinner, like I would say like Post Malone because he is
Wow.
just a big like goofy, funny, happy guy, and I just want
That's
to give him a
great
hug.
answer. Yeah, he's definitely a happy guy.
On a serious note, maybe like Warren Buffett, and I'd be like, please help me invest.
Ooh. Yeah. Help me.
Warren,
Yeah.
help.
Okay,
Help
so
me.
business dinner would be Warren Buffett, but
Yeah.
like just for fun, Post
Social
Malone.
dinner, Post Malone, 100%.
Post Malone.
I
Wow.
feel like he needs a hug lately too.
He does need
Yeah.
a hug lately. He's going through it.
Yeah.
Wow,
Um,
that's nice.
I think that
Nice.
was a fantastic episode.
That was good. That was really
We're
cool.
definitely gonna have you back for like a part 2, maybe in a couple years.
Yeah.
I will be at Fruit Loop tomorrow morning.
Yes,
So
I'll be
maybe
there
I'll
too.
see you there. If not, I'll be there Friday too. So
Yes.
don't worry.
I wish I lived closer. That's so nice. You got to get their egg sandwich.
I do
Yes,
have to get
the
the
baggie.
eggs. Okay. I have to like
It's a
make a whole
must.
list. I'm gonna have you tell me what to order.
Yeah.
I got you.
If she's working, just say, hook me up. I'm
Yeah.
sure she'll take
No, I
care of
want to
you.
have it in my phone and my notes so like I can have it all the time.
Love it.
But thank you so much for. Oh,
Yes.
tell everybody how they can find you.
Yeah. Social media and locations.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so Latham, 800 New Loudon Road. We're right off the roundabout, right next to Orange Theory Fitness. And in Clifton Park, 22 Clifton Country Center Road. We're right near Home Goods.
Yes.
And what about on social media?
Social media, _Fruit Loop.
Boom.
Perfect. There you have it.
Love it.
Thank you so much, Suze. That was
Thank
fantastic.
you guys.
Look out for this podcast. You can find our podcast anywhere podcasts can be listened to, and also on YouTube. And stay tuned for our next guest.
Yes.
And that's a wrap.
Nice. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Suze.
Thank you.
Peace.